Okay, now we are going to learn about statistics concept. After that, statistics top 15 models. So now listen, statistics means it is a word derived from Latin word. So statistics is a word derived from Latin word status, and which means to collect to analyze something is called statistics. So what is meant by statistics? The branch of mathematics which deals with collection of information or analysis of information or interpretation. Interpretation means so to make the data in a tabular form, so that is called statistics. The branch of mathematics which is collection, which is called the collection of information and analysis of information and presenting that information in a tabular form, that is called statistics. This statistics lesson and the statistics concept was given by Sir Ronald Fisher. Sir Ronald Fisher. So most very important bit in the concept, Sir Ronald Fisher. So statistic definition you got it. So the collection of information which is analyzed and tabular form presenting is everything is called statistics. And examples we can say very well, so many examples we can give. So I am going to some school and I am collecting the students information, boys, how many boys, how many girls, in that boys and then girls, how many students are bright students, how many are average, how many are below average, how many are slow learners. So these are all information if I collect, that is statistics. So if I go survey from door to door, so if I get survey, so that is also one statistics. So the government is collecting how many male people are there, how many women people are there, so that is also statistics, that is census we can say. So everything is statistics. And in a company if you say growth of the company is also one of the statistics. In our 10th class exams every year the statistics is like this, but this year so like this, because all are getting pass. So like that we can say, so analysis is nothing but statistics. Next, in the statistics we have to know some basic concepts. So those are nothing but first F. F means what? Frequency. So before going to discuss about frequency, we have to know CI, class interval. So we are collecting raw data, means we are collecting some observations. In these observations, so the raw is very difficult. So where that number is there, that is we don't know. So using this data, raw data, if you arrange some groups, means from 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, means like this if you arrange, so then my data is easy to understand, to find out easily, to sort out easily. For example, in my class 100 students are there. So in this 100 students I am giving 100 marks to all. So if I want to find how many students got 50 marks, so that is very difficult because I have to see all, isn't it? How many marks, how many students got 60 marks, that is also very difficult. If I arrange this all 100 students marks in a systematic way, so means from 1 to 10 marks how many students got, from 11 to 20 marks how many students got. So if I arrange this data, then so from 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, these are, I am dividing the groups, these groups are called class intervals. These groups are called class intervals. So 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, so these are called class intervals. Class intervals. Class boundaries. Class boundaries. See here 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, these are so lower limits and upper limits we can say. This is a lower limit, this is the upper limits. So these are all lower limits, these are the upper limits. So once again I am saying, so these groups are called class intervals. In this class intervals, what are the starting values are there, what are the low values are there, those low values are called lower limits. From 1 to 10 means 1 is a low value, so that is called lower limit, and 10 is a high value, that is the upper limit. So 11 is the lower limit, 20 is the upper limit, 21 is the lower limit, and 30 is the upper limit. So these are the lower limits, these are the upper limits, but these are not, the value of the upper limit is not equal to value of the lower limit. If value of the upper limit and value of the lower limit are equal, means see here 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. By observing, if you see clearly, the upper limit of a class is equal to the next lower limit of the class, then these are called boundaries. These are called boundaries. These are called lower boundary and these are called upper boundary. For finding statistics problems, we are using boundaries only. So remember, for finding median or mode or arithmetic mean, so whatever you will find, you have to use these boundaries only, lower boundary and upper boundary. If you use lower boundary and upper boundary only, you can find the problems. So these are the lower limits, these are the lower boundaries. In this lower limits are in these class intervals or class boundaries. So if you say the number of the observations, how many times it is occurring or coming, that is called frequency. For example, if I want to say clearly means how many students got 45 marks exactly. So if I say means, so 45 means 31 to 40 and 41 to 50. So those students will be coming in this. So for example, 45 students are 7 members are there. So 7 members is a frequency, my frequency. So means the observation is how many times in the class interval. In the class interval, that is called frequency. That is called frequency. Next, so frequency completed, class interval completed and class boundaries completed, limits. So lower limits and upper limits completed. Next, frequency table. Frequency table. So a table which is containing frequencies and tally marks and cumulative frequency and so everything what we are writing in the table, that is called frequency table. That is called frequency table. Simply if you say class interval and frequency is there, that is called frequency table. That's enough. Class interval and frequency. If the table is consisting, that is called frequency table. Frequency table. But so if you want to say extra means frequency, class intervals and tally marks. So in a lower class we have learned tally marks means 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is tally marks. Tally marks and in median, for finding median we are using what? Cumulative frequencies means 1, 5, 7 like that. So it is increasing. It is increasing from top to bottom. That is also frequency table. And also mid values. In a mean we are using mid values. So x1 plus x2 by 2, y1 plus y2 by 2. So these are all we are adding. That is also frequency table. So the table which is consisting frequency, tally marks, cumulative frequency, class intervals. So that is called frequency table. Next, mid value. The sum of the lower limit and upper limit, the average of this lower limit and upper limit is called mid value. For example, I want to find mid value for 20, 30. So then what I will do? 20 plus 30 by 2, that is equal to 50 by 2. So that is equal to 25. So 25 is the mid value of 20 and 30. 20 and 30 class interval. So mid value is nothing but the average of lower limit and upper limit or the sum of the lower limit and upper limit by 2. So sum of the lower limit and upper limit by 2, that is called mid values. Next, range. In a given data, if the highest value is then lowest value is there, so but those are the somewhere. So if you find highest value and if you find lowest value, then you have a range, that is highest value minus lowest value. So range is equal to highest value minus lowest value. So for natural number, so range is nothing but highest value is n, lowest value is 1, so n minus 1. N minus 1 is the range for the natural numbers. For whole numbers, if you find for whole numbers, so range of the whole number, highest value is n, lowest value is 0. So that is equal to n only. So that is equal to n only. So here highest value is n and lowest value is 0. So n. So like that we can find range. So mid value understand, frequency table you understand. Now we are going to discuss about central tendency. Central tendency. So what is the central tendency? Let us see here. By collecting so much of information, we have the important values. That important values are, for any data, for any observations, you have only main 3 important data are there, important values are there. Those important values are called central tendency values. Central tendency value means these are all data is depending upon only one value. These are all data depending upon only one value. That value only we are say central tendency value. So those central tendency values in mathematics, in our 10th class syllabus, only we have 3 central tendencies. That is nothing but arithmetic mean, median and mode. Arithmetic mean, median and mode. So this is arithmetic mean. So we have to now learn arithmetic mean. The sum of the all observations by number of the observations is called arithmetic mean. The sum of the all observations by number of the observations is called arithmetic mean. Means you have some data, so those all sum of the all data and how many number of observations you have, how many data have, that is called arithmetic mean. So for example, if I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I am considering this only. So the sum of the all observations how much? 5 into 6 by 2, so that is 15 by 5. 5 ones are 5 threes are. So 3 is called arithmetic mean. 3 is called arithmetic mean. So this is for raw data. If the tabular form is given, so you have to use this formula: x bar is equal to sigma fi xi by sigma fi, where xi is the mid value of the class interval and f is the frequency and sigma f is the total frequency. So like that you have to remember each and everything. So in exam concept they may ask x bar is equal to sigma fi xi by sigma fi. What is the sigma fi, they will ask. So you have to say total frequency. If they ask what is fi, any frequency in the table. So if they ask what is the fi, sigma fi xi, sigma fi xi, if they ask, you have to say the sum of the product of the frequency and mid values of the class intervals. So like that you have to choose the answers. Next, x bar is equal to a plus sigma fi ui by sigma fi into h. So this is the shortcut or step deviation formula for finding mean or arithmetic mean. So in this, a is assumed value, assumed mean, and sigma fi. So this is the deviation. So the sum of the product of the frequency and deviation, and this is the sum of the frequency, total frequency. You can say h is the length of the class interval. So like this you have to remember each and every time the arithmetic mean. Now merits and demerits. We have to learn merits and demerits. So merits, arithmetic mean, it is easy to communicate, it is easy to compute, means we can find the arithmetic value very easily, and it is unique. So arithmetic mean for any data only one. For any data, if you take any data, the arithmetic mean is only one, only unique. It is a unique. So these are the merits. It is easy to understand. So arithmetic mean is everybody can understand, because some of the observations by number of the observations. If they know addition, if they know division, they can easily understand. So arithmetic mean is easy to understand, easy to calculate, and it is having unique values. Demerits. So demerits is, it is depending upon all values. So if each and every value if you know, then only you can find the arithmetic mean, otherwise you can't find. If some in the data, if you don't know one value also, the arithmetic mean is not determined. So that is a demerit in this arithmetic mean. And also if there are so many values are there, so it is very difficult to find. If you have so many values, so it's very difficult to find arithmetic mean. Next, median. In a raw data or in a given data, if the all observations are arranging in ascending order or descending order, then the middle value is called median. So in the given observations, if you arrange in ascending order or descending order, so then the middle value is called median. For example, if I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I am taking this only for everything. Now see here, I am ascending in ascending order, or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I am arranging in descending order. Then, so what is the mid value here? So mid value is 3, so that is called median. If I find like this also, mid value is 3 only, that is a median. So if the observations are odd numbers, if the number of the observations are odd number, then the mid value is the median. If the observations are even numbers, number of the observations are even number. See, I am taking 6. So then what is the mid value? So 3 numbers I am eliminating. This is the mid value. So 3 and 4, what is the mid value? That is 3.5. How I got 3.5 is 1? The average of these two extreme values. Means 3 plus 4 by 2. That is equal to 7 by 2. That is equal to 3.5. 2 3s are 6 and 2 5s are 10. Point is there. So like this we can say. Means in exam they will ask, if the number of the observations are odd numbers, then what is the mid value or what is the median? So then you can say that n plus 1 by 2 term, n plus 1 by 2 term. So n plus 1 by 2. See here 5. 5 means 6. 5 plus 1 6. 6 by 2 means third term. So 1 2 3 third term. So like this we can say. If the number of the observations are even numbers, then how can you find? That is n by 2 comma n by 2 plus 1. So the average of the n by 2 comma n by 2 plus 1th term. The average of the n by 2 comma n by 2 plus 1th term. So if you find this one, so they can easily find. So this is the even numbers. Then n by 2 means 6 by 2 means third term. So 6 n by 2 means 3, 3 plus 1 means fourth term. So the third term and fourth term average, third and fourth term average is 3.5. So like this we can find for ungrouped data. For ungrouped data means that is disclassification data. So we can say that. Now for classification data means for a tabular form, in arranging form or grouped data, we can say grouped data. What is the value of the median? So median is equal to L plus n by 2 minus Cf by small f into h. This is called for grouped data. So in this median formula, you have to know each and everything. So this is the what L, assumed mean of the class, median class, assumed mean of the median class, or median of the lower boundary of the median class. What we are taking median class, that median class lower boundary. This is a lower boundary. N by 2, n means what here? Total frequency. N means what? Total frequency. In that half means the total frequency half. So half of the total frequency. CF, cumulative frequency means what? The preceding class cumulative frequency. Whatever the frequency you are taking, that frequency, cumulative frequency preceding what? So that means whatever the frequency class is there, that preceding class cumulative frequency, that is a cumulative frequency. And F means frequency. So required frequency, what we are assuming, that is a required frequency. And here height. So here height or class of the interval, length of the interval. So we can say length of the interval. So these are the median L plus n by 2 minus Cf by small f into h. In this median also merits and demerits are there. So what are the merits, what is the demerits? So for median it is very easy to calculate, it is also very easy to calculate, and it is also unique value. So it has only one value, it is not having two values or three values like that, it is having only one value, unique value, and it is also very easy to calculate. It is also very easy to understand. So for students, because if you know addition and division, so same like that only, because n by 2 and n by 2 plus 1 by 2 you have to re-average. If the number of the observations are even number, then you have to find addition and division. So that's easy to understand. And demerits. So demerits is you have to make the all observations in ascending order or descending, then only you can find the median. That is one median, one demerit. And also it is not bothering about extreme values, means it is not bothering, it is only bothering about mid values. So if the mid value if you know, then you will get the median, but the first values and last values, it is we need not to find, we need not to bother. So that's one of the demerit of the median. Next, mode. In a data, an observation which is repeating again and again, that is called mode. In an observation, in a data, an observation which is repeating, which is coming again and again, that is called mode. So for example, if you take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, see here no repetition is there, no repetition. So means this data is not having mode. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, 6, 3, 7, 3, so like this data is there. In this observation, if you clearly observe, 3 is there, 3 is there, 3 is there, 3 is there, 3. So this 3 is coming again and again. So this 3 is the mode. This 3 is the mode. So this is called unimode. Because this data is having one mode, so unimode. This is having no data, no mode, means no number is repeating, so this is no mode. For example, in some data, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 5, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 7, and so on. So in this data we can say easily 2 is the repeating value and 3 is the repeating value. So we can say this is bimode. This is a bimode. because we are having 2 and 3 repeating. So this is a bi mode. In some data 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, like this will be there. So in this data, if you observe, 1 is repeating and 2 is repeating and 3 is also repeating. This is called trimode. So we have no mode, unimode and bimode and trimode. So these are the mode for ungrouped data. If the data is giving grouped data, for grouped data we will see here, mode is equal to L plus F1 minus F0 by 2 F1 minus F0 plus F2 into H. So in this formula you have to know each and everything. In the concept oriented bits they will give this formula. In this formula they will ask, in this formula what is F1 denoted? What is F1 denoting? So they will ask like that. So you have to know each and every term in this formula, then you can easily understand, you can easily write the answer. See here, L means here lower boundary of the model class. Model class means mode class. Here F1 means so required frequency. So what is the highest value is that is a highest value frequency in the frequency table, and F0 is preceding value of the highest frequency, and F2 is successive value of the successive frequency of the highest frequency, and H is the length of the class interval, So like this you have to know. Here merits of the mode. Mode is easy to calculate without any hard work, isn't it? So mode is easy to calculate, first thing. And second thing is, it is easy to calculate, it is easy to understand to every student. It is easy to understand to every student. Demerits. So demerit is most very important. It is not a unique value because unimode is there, bimode is there, trimode is there for data. So that's why it is not a unique value. It is not a unique value. So if more data is there, it is very difficult to find for mode. If the observations are more and more and more, so you can't find the mode, isn't it? So that is the demerit. Next, relation. So the relation, empirical relation, we can say that in today grand test I am going to give what is the empirical relation bit. So that's logically I will give, you have to remember, you have to think and write. So mode is equal to 3 into mean, 3 into median minus 2 into mode. So this is the most important formula. Mode is equal to 3 into median minus 2 into mean. So most very important. So in the exam, definitely in AAAT they will ask one bit about this one. So they will give mean and mode, they will ask median, or they may give mode and median, they will ask mean, or they may give mean and median, they will ask mode. So like this they may ask. You have to remember, you don't say this is out of syllabus, this is a extra study of the statistics, extra study you have statistics in the, so they may give anything, so don't expect. So mode is equal to 3 into minus 2 into mean. So this bit I am going to give in the grand test, but in logical way I will give, so you think and write. So that is the relation. Next, cumulative frequencies, cumulative frequency curve. So that is Ogee curve we can say. So here lower boundaries if I take, here class interval if I take. So here class interval, here lower boundary. So here upper boundary, here class interval. So if I take, then what I will get? See here, less than cumulative frequency, greater than cumulative frequency. Here class intervals, class boundaries we can say, or class interval we can say, no problem. So if I take on x axis class interval, on y axis less than cumulative frequency. Here class interval on x axis and greater than cumulative frequency on y axis. If I take, so I will get the graph like this for less than cumulative frequency curve. I will get the graph like this, greater than cumulative frequency curve. Means here rising curve, this is a not rising curve. So for rising curve, this is called less than cumulative frequency curve. For not rising curve, this is called greater than cumulative frequency curve. This is called Ogive curves. This is called Ogive curves. So this is a Ogive curve, less than cumulative frequency curve. This is also Ogive curve, greater than cumulative frequency curve. So sometimes in one graph only we will draw less than cumulative and greater than cumulative sometimes. Then at that time the midpoint of the curves, if you draw a perpendicular to the x-axis where it is intersecting, that is called median. This is most very important bit, remember students. Sometimes the intersection of both curves, less than cumulative frequency and greater than cumulative frequency. So the intersection, from this intersection, if you draw a perpendicular to the x-axis where it is intersecting, that point is called median. That point is called median. So that is you remember.